Whoa.
Welcome back to episode 94 featuring Jonny Lazarus. This guy's an absolute legend. He played D1 hockey. And for those of you who aren't watching this on YouTube, he's got a mic to his mouth because he's a media guy. So this guy's legit. Welcome to the pod.
No, like, hey, how are you? We're going to start recording. It's just fucking off the bat. We just go.
Well, we were recording a little bit before. That's why. You know
All
what
right. Well,
Said
good to be
Jonny,
here. Good to
they
see you
said
guys.
You were pretty seasoned. You'd be ready to go out of the gate. So
Yeah, well, even a text or like a nice heads up would have been fine. But yeah, what's up, guys?
Well, how you doing? What were you going to say? We're going to say something crazy to start off, like if we weren't recording?
No, I just thought like, I haven't talked to you face to face in like a year,
Yeah, it's been a while. Last time I saw you was in New York. We had a good time.
We won't get into that.
Yeah, we won't get into that. It was a great time though, and I loved seeing you. But no, I figured we do the hey, how are you on here? I mean, because like your life has been unbelievable lately. I think you can tell us, but did you think you'd be here when you left college, like be where you are at now?
You mean when I was doing a Jewish podcast with Cappy? No, definitely not. Definitely not. But I always like I put out that clip today. I don't know if you guys saw it about like, the last year or so of my life and whatnot, but I always had like that, like inner sense of like I can do something. Mm-hmm. And I don't know where that really came from, but you guys will appreciate this. I guess someone I look up to a lot is actually Lil Dicky. I don't know if you guys watch that.
Yeah. I remember talking to you about his show.
Yeah, so I love Dave, love Lil Dicky, always have since like high school, when my friend Henry showed me his music and stuff. But I always used to like watch his interviews, and he always talked about how like he couldn't live with what if, and like he had this inner sense of self that like he knew he was born to be like a star or something. And I never had that, but like everything he said, I just like felt that he was like talking to me, and I think we all have someone in that sense that we kind of look up to and can relate to, and like, just the world of like pop culture and whatnot. And for me, it's been him for like the last 10 years. So as a hockey guys, my pregame ritual, my junior and senior year of college, 5 minutes before we go out for a warm up, I'd throw on the Little Dicky freestyle on Sway in the morning and listen to the whole thing and try to learn like every fucking word.
And do you know every word or no?
I got it down now for the most part. I won't. It's 5 minutes long, so I won't do it now. But
you know what's funny is like for those who don't know you, Jonny, like that's so you to
show me, right?
Have a guy to look up to, and yours is Lil Dicky. That is so you. But listen, you remember last time you came on the pod? It was what? How many years ago? 2 or 1?
I don't know, but it was over the phone.
yeah, it was over the phone because when I started this, it was all over the phone. I had no idea what I was doing. I started a pod not knowing anything, so I was just doing phone calls because I really started it because I wanted to talk to the boys. But like none of the boys, you can't just like call an old teammate and be like, "Hey, you got an hour? I just want to shoot the shit for an hour." It's really just phone calls with the boys. But I remember
sounds like you just have no friends, dude.
You
can't call someone and talk for an hour?
Well, like not so many people, like maybe 3 people, 4 people. Hey,
wait,
my mom always told me you can only count really good friends on one hand.
Yeah, that's true.
Right?
I just realized too, I did want to say something when I hopped on before we started recording. Dude, congrats on the kid.
Thank you so much, man. Yeah. Girl dad. Actually, it's been awesome. And what's funny is Zach, like last time I was living here in Milwaukee with Zach. He's got a daughter who's now like 1.5.
She's 16 months old.
She's 16 months.
So
I don't know what
that's 12 plus 4, almost a year and a half, 2 months away from a year and a half.
Yeah. So
also, sorry. Keep going.
So no, say what you're gonna say.
Well, I was gonna say I don't think I've ever spoken to Zach before, so it's an honor to be sitting here with Solo Streak.
I was gonna say, we introduce you to the guys. Yeah, that's Timmy Kent too.
Timmy and I have gone back and forth a bit, but
Laz, great to meet you. We got plenty of mutual buddies. I was texting George about you, and we'll get into that a little bit later. But
you were all over social media when I was trying to get a D1 scholarship, and I was like, this guy's fucking ruining all my chances.
Man, I woke up at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and there's 300 notifications. I'm like, what's going on?
The solo streak, man, that was all time. But last time you were on the pod, I remember telling you, like, man, I can see you rising quick and working for Barstool by the next time I have you on the pod. And you're not working for Barstool, but you're working for the National Hockey League. So you'll take that, hey?
It's not bad.
No, it's not bad. But
it's not bad.
about that ride, because I mean, I just found out today that you got a regular job too, working a regular job, but you're also, it seems like kind of like a full-time-ish gig with the National League. So can you just talk about that?
Yeah, dude. I haven't fucking slept in like the last 4 months. You know, literally been, well, I'm in like I don't really want to talk about the job too much, like the full-time job, but
Yeah.
you know, I've been working 9 to 5, and then like I'm going to the NHL studio and working there from like 7 to 11. You know, covering the Rangers too, and they were in the playoffs. I was going to all the games in the first round. So it's really been a grind, but like it's so fucking fun, man. Like, you know, it's not like it's like, yeah, it's like a little bit taxing on my body and whatnot. Like I don't go to the gym as much as I would like to, but you know, as far as just like having fun and like looking forward to doing something every day, like, you know, the stuff I do at night makes the stuff during the day like not as bad, because I'm just like, you know, looking forward to every night, you know. So yeah, I mean, this year's been super crazy, and you know, I don't know like where it all really started to take off. You know, I kind of just always put myself out there, and you know, got a decent response, and that just like kept growing and growing. And you know, I don't know, it's been fucking crazy, man, but it's been so much fun.
How did the job with the NHL come about?
Yeah, so I did a show last year called The Third Period Live on the NHL YouTube channel. That was for the conference finals.
Yep.
And you know, I just always maintained that relationship with the league after I did that show. And that was, you know, I still, it's funny. I was actually staying at Max Calter's apartment when I got that phone call. If you guys know Max Calter, he played at UConn, one of my best friends. I like kind of maintained that relationship with the NHL, and, you know, they called me like out of the blue, and we're like, hey, we have this show idea. You know, we're trying to build up our YouTube channel. So we want like younger people talking hockey, and there aren't really many, right? Like, at least that played. Like, you know, like I had the advantage.
You know what you're talking about because
Yeah.
you understand it. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, they just like reached out to me, and you know, I kind of just ran with it. I still think
Who reaches out to you?
The producer for the show. So
Not Gary Bettman.
No, not Gary. And also, like, you know, now I have a good relationship with Steve Mayer, who's the chief content officer, and he's a pretty high up guy there. So now, like, you know, I'll talk to Steve every now and then, but it's really just the producers of the shows. And there's a lot of producers around the NHL. Like, they do a lot of different things, obviously. So, you know, I've worked now with like 3 different producers in the last year. So yeah, it's the producer who usually reaches out.
And what's like the contract like? Because I assume they're flying you out. I don't know. You can tell us, but like, what's the contract like? And like, are they flying you out? Are they giving you per diem? Are they comping your hotels?
Yeah, so they just give me like a stipend for $1 million, and I'm just so rich, and it's fucking awesome.
That's unreal. Can you
kidding? Obviously.
What a dream.
That's something I can't really get into, but you know, it's a freelance gig, right? So it's like, you know, you get paid for this one gig, and then, you know, I don't know if there's another gig coming. So it's like I'm a salary guy. It's just you know, per show or per gig, you kind of get paid.
Jonny, keep fucking spitting out that great content. They're gonna make you a salary guy because
that's the dream, man. That's what I'm hoping for.
Well, dude, keep believing in yourself, because we're always watching. He's like, "Yo, look at this!" Like,
yeah. Nico's in my DMs every fucking 5 minutes.
Wow, this is sick. You're a legend, Jonny. I love you, Jonny. You're a legend.
You're my biggest hype man.
Hey, do I not do that though?
No, you do. You do. I need you to like message every girl on Hinge or something, and just like tell them about me.
Dude, I saw it happen. I remember I kind of like found out about you ish. Like, we had a lot of mutual friends, and I kind of learned who you were right when you were ending your career and you were starting the locker room with Cappy. That's when I kind of like learned who you were, you know, and to see, like, when I learned about you, I heard you on the locker room, and I had you on the Buzz Pod. Like, I knew that you were gonna do great, because like, you have a passion for this stuff, like media. You're like, I'll do any pod with anyone. You're like, locker room, Blue Crew. I got 15 podcasts. Like, I don't give a fuck. Like, I just want to put content out, and I want to find a way to make it to the top. And like, it's crazy, like, for me to see just through social media how much you've grown and like your success. It's really like been unbelievable to see. And like, speaking on your success, I mean, can you get into this Stanley Cup playoff run and just your experience traveling back and forth from Fort Lauderdale and Vegas. And just I have a ton of questions
Yeah,
about
dude.
like, your favorite city out of both, your favorite bar in both, so just give it to us all.
I gotta say, for this being my first Stanley Cup final that I've gotten to cover, I'm saying that hopefully there's more. Going to Vegas and Florida ain't too bad, huh?
No, dude. I
Not too
said it.
bad.
I said it here on this pod like maybe 5 episodes ago. This is the best Stanley Cup final to go to games to. Z actually went to game 2.
Game 2 in Vegas.
Oh, really?
Yep. Yep.
But like
Last second.
like I wanna hear your experience because you were like right there for it all.
Yeah, I mean, everyone. If anyone says bad for the game, well, fucking great for me, But you guys will appreciate this too. Like, I'll probably be the only person that says like I had more fun in Fort Lauderdale than I did in Vegas. Like,
Yes, I'm a
I thought Fort Lauderdale was
Florida boys.
I'm born in Hollywood, Florida. It's 10 minutes away from the Elbow Room.
Dude, we were there. So we were there. I was in Florida from. Honestly, the days are all mixed up. When was game 3?
No, I don't know. It doesn't matter what days you were there. Just
whatever. I was there for like 5 days. I was at Elbow Room 3 nights out of those 5 days.
Yeah, and you met tons of people there. I saw like a video with Charles Barkley. I mean, just talk about the people you met and the experiences, man.
Yeah, so that was like, to me, that's still like the pinch me moment, right? Like all these people that I've grown up watching, like that, like know me now by my name, I think I talked about this today, but weird brag, but the coolest like pinch me moment that I think I'm taking away from it was, I'm standing on the glass watching the Golden Knights like lift the cup, right? Like they just want it to over. We're all waiting to go out on the ice for like our post game stuff, and I got a tap on my back, and it's a guy going like, "What's up, Jonny? I just want to introduce myself. Like, nice to meet you." And it's Mike Rupp, and I'm like, "Dude, what?" Like, I was like, I'm obviously a huge Rangers fan. Rupp played for the Rangers for a couple years and whatnot, and obviously now he's like so successful in media, and the fact that he was behind me and like tapped me on the back, I was like, that's so fucking cool, so I think this trip was like the most where I've felt like I've actually made something of this, like I've done some stuff here and there, but being around the people that I've hung out with, like I was hanging out with Emily Kaplan every day. She's become like my older sister. Like she's the best. And she's the one who introduced me to Charles. Like I was so drunk at Elbow Room, dude. And all of a sudden I look over and Emily's like, "Jonny, come here." And it's just her and Charles. And I walked up to him and I was like, "Can I just give you a hug?" Like, and we, did that whole thing and whatnot. But Charles is also super cool. Like he said to Emily, like, "What's up, Emily? Like, introduce me to some of your friends." And like, she just called me over, like that was so cool. But like I can name drop and whatnot, but like it was really cool to be surrounded by all these people that, all of us have grown up, idolizing, and to be in the mix with them, I think is just like something I'll never forget.
Yeah, no, that's unbelievable. And I can see that too. And I thought that to myself as well. Like I've tuned in, and this because like I'm texting you in the middle of your shows. Like I tuned into your YouTube shows, I'm watching the games and I'm watching your shows at the same time. And I'm texting you in the middle of the show, like, and I'm trying to see if you're texting me back, like,
Yeah.
But like somehow you're texting me back, but I don't see you texting me back. I don't know how you do it. I'm like wondering, like, do you have someone texting me for you or no?
No, it's on me.
Okay.
Also, depending on the show, like the Stanley Cup one, I couldn't really text because like we're like sitting at a desk. Like if I'm sitting at a desk, like my texts are open on my computer.
Right. Okay. Right.
Yeah.
For me, after watching those and stuff, and then I see you covering the Stanley Cup final, and I kind of felt like this was, like you said, this was your biggest growth, the shortest amount of time. Yeah, kind of like your coming out party, right? Absolutely. And I saw Mikey Grinnell posted his year-end review and pictures of you in there, and like
no tag.
Jack Eichel in the mix. No tag, but I mean, those who know, right? And is there a fun? I think you told it last time, right? The first time you met Mikey Grinnell.
Yeah, we were. I was at the Quinn 92 concert. Huge Quinn 92 fan. Quinn XCII. If you guys don't recognize the Quinn 92. And I'm taking a piss in the urinal, like alone in the bathroom. I hear some guy walk out of the stall, and it's Grinnell, and I'm like, "Gee," and he's like, "What's up, dude?" Like he didn't really know who I was. This is like September 21. So yeah, it's like a year and a half ago. And I was like, "What's up, dude? I'm Jonny Lazarus. Like, I played for UMass." He was like, "Yeah, I think I've seen your name before." Like, probably just like, saying that to say it. But the next day I like tweeted a video of
Yeah, I remember that video too.
yeah.
Yeah, you got her tickets for Quincy II and she bailed to go like be with her friends. I remember
Yep. And then I met Quinn 92 and I was like, "Hey, like I was supposed to come with my girlfriend. She bailed to go to University of Florida's homecoming. Can you send a video like, or can you say like, wish you were here, like, whatever, blah blah." And I tweeted that video and Grinelli like I guess found it and then followed me and commented like, "Dude, how'd you get this?" And I was like, I had bought the VIP ticket because I'm a huge fan. But yeah, I think that's like what started our friendship. And obviously he lives around here. He's in Jersey now, but he lived in New York for a bit. So like we kind of run in the same areas. But yeah, he's been he's been super good to me. And he said like he's always says like that I kind of remind him a little bit just like with how I'm trying to work my way up and like doing my own thing and whatnot. And we actually, I'm sure we'll get into the night with the cup and whatnot, but we ended up staying out with Eichel and the Empty Netters guys, who are huge beauties too, by the way. I fucking love those guys. I went on their show 2 days ago. I think that drops tonight actually, but we got dropped off at the MGM Grand at like 6:15 in the morning the night after the cup because we were out till like that late. And me and Grinnell were staying in a hotel next to each other, like down the strip. So we ended up walking through the strip together at 6 a.m. Like as people are like doing their morning jog by us. And like it was like we were just kind of talking and I was like, dude, how cool is it to be here? And he's obviously been around the block for a bit now, but like seeing where he's come and like where he started, kind of was like, damn, like I hope to be in those shoes one day.
Yeah, absolutely. And his come up is huge too because he didn't even play D1, right? Like
Yeah.
You started with a little base, but you mentioned like getting into that. Can you just like get into that night right now? I want to know all about that night.
Oh man. So I don't want to steer away from this show, but if you want to get the best story from that night, definitely tune into my interview with Empty Netters because they were with me. So we kind of had like a, like a Saturday morning recap with the boys of Friday night. That's like kind of what the show was
Sunday
like.
Scaries, trying to remember and telling
Exactly.
each other what happened.
Putting the pieces together. Like that was the entire interview. So that's like,
Awesome.
I told all my buddies from back home, I was like, I can't even do it justice right now. Like just go watch that. But
yeah.
For you guys, I'll give the best. So
go watch that for sure.
No, yeah, but I'll give you the
recap.
version. I'll give you my own version. So like that night I was pretty exhausted. Like I had worked my full-time job during the day. So I was up at 6 a.m. Vegas time working East Coast hours. So, do the full work day, head to the rink at like 2:30 or 1:45 West Coast time, do our pregame show, stay for the whole game, go on the ice, see players, talk to friends and whatever, and figure out what the move is, right? Because obviously we're going out. Like we're in Vegas. The cup was just won. Like this is gonna be the best Tuesday night in the history of mankind. So a good friend of mine, Jeff Kocher, who works in hockey, sends me the phone number for this guy, Robbie, who works with the Tao Group in Vegas. So like does all the nightlife stuff. I text Robbie. I'm like, hey, this is Jonny Lazarus. I'm here with the NHL. Like, where's the cup going to be? Like, I gotta follow it. And he was like, go to Omnia 1 a.m. Like I'll hook you up, like blah, blah, blah. Robbie's actually at the game. So me and Robbie meet up at the game. We watched like a second period together and I saw him on the ice as well. So we kind of like got to talking and, he just told me 1 o'clock Omnia. So I go home to change, shower, meet some people out at this place called Chandelier Bar, which is in the Cosmo, which is like where I'd kind of been spending most of my nights in Vegas because it's like I'm not like a clubby guy. Like, I went to the club because it was the Stanley Cup, but like you couldn't catch me dead at Omnia like, any other night. But so it's now like 12:30. I meet up with the people I'm going with. We start walking over to MGM Grand, which is where Omnia is. We go right to the front of the line. Robbie hooks us up. We're 10 dudes, worst ratio possible. We walk right in and we're like at the bar. So now it's like come 1:30, 1:45, still no sign of the Golden Knights, but like we trust Robbie. Like obviously he wouldn't lie to us. And I'm also with Jazz, the TNT researcher. So Jazz is like obviously, in tight with the TNT guys and whatnot. So we see Biz and Witt and Murley and Pasha and Hank and all these guys at a table right behind Steve Aoki, but we can't get in there. So now we're kind of losing hope. Like, fuck, like, what are we supposed to do? Like, that's where the cup's going to be. We're standing out here, like looking like idiots, like just at the bar. And Jazz walks over, gets Biz's attention and like 2 seconds later, they point to us and they're like, come in, so Biz gets us in. 20 minutes later, here come the Golden Knights. Steve Aoki goes, everyone stop, like, turn around. Here come the Stanley Cup champions, the Vegas Golden Knights. And the place starts going nuts. So this is when the night, like, I had already said, like, guys, like, I don't know how long I can make it. Like, I'm gassed. Like,
and then your adrenaline goes.
And the adrenaline kicks in. So actually, I'll tell it now, but this is like, so the Empty Netters guys said, like, we can make a movie of this night, because I wanted to go home like 3 separate times, and something happened where it clicked that I gotta stay. So like literally 3 times I had a sign of like, you can't go home. So now the cup is there. Aiden Hill, Petrangelo, Colasar, Jack Eichel, Haig, all these guys come into the Steve Aoki stage, which is like where we are. We're like right there. They start lifting the cup up, passing it around. I didn't get to touch it or drink from it or anything. But they're doing their thing, and then that goes on for like an hour, and I'm like, okay, I've seen it. The cup's gone. They went back to their table, and their table's like on the other side of the room. Like, we can't get over there. I'm ready to call it a night. This is probably like 3 a.m. Then Dan Powers is like, dude, no, I'm texting Grinnell, because Grinnell wasn't there. He's like, I'm texting Grinnell. He's coming. He fell asleep. He's coming now. Like, he went home to change. He passed out. So he's waking up like, oh my God, what the fuck? Like, I just missed this whole night. I gotta go. So now I'm like, all right, I'll say hi to Grinnell, and then we'll talk for 30 minutes, and I'll head home. So Grinnell shows up probably like 3:30. We hang out. Then everyone starts to leave a little bit and do their own thing. So after an hour of chilling, we walk out of Omnia. As we're walking out, we run into Jack Eichel, Keegan Colasar, and Nick Hague. They're buckled, obviously. We're like still pretty coherent, but we're, drunk enough to keep the night going. And Eichel's like, go to McMullen's. We don't know what this place is. Like, so Chris Powers Googles McMullen's. And sorry, this is like the long version, but I'm trying to give you guys as much as I can. I see.
We love it.
I'm following. I'm dying.
All right. So Chris looks up McMullen's, and it's 2.5 miles off the strip. And we're like, what could this place be? So we just get in the Uber, because Chris is like, we got to go. Dan and I are like, dude, I'm ready to call it a night. Like, chances are these guys are so drunk, they don't even show up to this place. And this is my favorite part of the night, just so we're saying. Like, this is where the night, like, to me, got like unbelievable. Like seeing the cup in the club and stuff is cool, but like, I'm more of like the dive bar intimate. Like, I love the elbow room because it's like a smaller, good people, good vibes, like that kind of vibe. Like, that's my thing. So we get in this Uber, we pull up to McMullen's, and it's like in this shopping center in the middle of nowhere in Nevada. And we're like, we're in the wrong fucking place. Like, we are going to get hurt here. But we walk in, there's 4 people in there, literally 4 at this bar. And 5 minutes in, we're like, all right, guys, they're not coming. And I think it was Chris who's like, let's just have 1 friend beer to cap off the night, So we each order like a beer. We're sitting there, and sure as shit, 10 minutes into the beer, here comes Eichel, Colasar, and Haig with like their girlfriends, friends, like probably 10 people. And like, that was like, oh boy, like, this night's just beginning. This is 4 a.m.
Because you're in an empty bar with just them. Now it's just you guys.
Yeah, this is 4 a.m. And now it's like, the 5 of us, 3 Stanley Cup champions, and maybe like 10 other people max. So like probably 20 people in there. Haig comes over and talks to us right away. He's like, I fucking knew we were going to do it. I knew we were going to do it. Like, all that stuff. He's all fired up. Colasar kind of went to the back a little bit with the people he was with. And Jack went right to the bar and like ordered a burger, fries, and like 5 beers, which was awesome. So yeah, we didn't want to bother them too. So like, we're kind of minding our own business, sitting right across from Jack. And, he's with his girlfriend and like a buddy of theirs. And like, after 30, 40 minutes of us just like hanging out, whatever, we're like, all right, we're sitting here. Let's just go over and talk to him. Like, he'll talk to us. And obviously he knows Grinnell and stuff. I think he started screaming like, Grinnell, I want you to come to my house and let's do chiclets from my house. Like, screaming across the bar saying that, which is hilarious. Yeah, it was awesome. So then we walk over and we start talking to Jack, and I won't say anything that Jack was saying because we like asked him like a ton of off the record, like just, guy to guy, like, good shit, which I like would never repeat. But,
of course,
he did say one thing that I'll repeat too, which I never knew that guy. I don't know if you guys knew this, but apparently NHL players call the Stanley Cup the mug. Like, have you guys heard that ever? I've never heard of it.
No, I didn't hear that.
Makes
I
as
don't play
soon
it.
as you
It
said
makes
it made sense to me.
Yeah,
it makes sense.
Obviously, it makes sense. But like, I never heard that. I mean, I play in the ECHL, so I'm
Yeah,
far off, dude.
it was news to me. But he kept saying like, I got a mug, and I was like, oh, it's like I guess that's a cool inside thing that like they say.
Yeah, that is cool.
So
That-
yeah, we
that
can
is-
get that out there. But yeah, no. So then, next thing you know, it's like 5:45 a.m. Sun's out, and it's like, all right, boys, I think it's time to shut it down. And we took that awesome selfie with like the timestamp on it.
Yeah, awesome.
And it was just, like being in the bar with those guys, like actually having that like guy to guy time, that was super. And I had never met Jack. I don't know him. So
Yeah,
that was super cool. Yeah, that was super cool.
What a story, man.
I probably missed some stuff here and there, but that was pretty much how it went.
No, that's
Legendary.
unbelievable.
I'm never gonna forget that, and I didn't even live it.
Did playing with guys like Cale Makar and All Stars and just playing Division I hockey and being around guys that ended up finding success in hockey, did that give you confidence to be around guys in the National Hockey League and ask questions to them with confidence?
Well, I think the biggest thing it did for me, honestly, is give me credibility. Like I give my opinion and people know that I like played with Cale or grew up with McAvoy and Fox. Like those are two people that like, if you ask them if they know who I am, they'd say, yeah. So like, that's huge for, my opinion and stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
And dude, you guys know as good as anyone, like everyone's normal, like
Yeah.
there's no difference in the human being between like me and Cale or like, I mean, maybe I'm a little bit more outspoken, but you know what I mean? Like we're all the same. Like we all get the grind. And I think honestly, the confidence level just comes from the fact that the NHL also allows me to like dress the way I want to dress. Like I don't have to wear a suit or somewhat look the part. Like I can be casual and be myself. And I think that makes me a little bit more approachable.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously I can't go out there in like shorts and a t-shirt, but like, I could wear jeans and like
Yeah, crazy jacket you're wearing.
Yeah. How's it going, huh?
That's a good jacket.
It's a good jacket. Yeah, I think that's what helps too. Like the guys come up to me and I think right away they're not nervous, so I'm not nervous. So I think that helps as well. But yeah, I think just not it doesn't matter the superstar, I don't think. I think just being in a locker room in general and like talking to, I've had teammates from like Finland and Russia and talking to those guys, like, you just get comfortable talking to anyone, I feel like,
Yeah, absolutely.
Jonny, before these sets, like, is there a certain layout or structure that you guys are supposed to follow, or do you come up with some of your own ideas, or?
So we always have a rundown of like who's coming on at what time and what questions we should like lean into. But a lot of it is certainly off the cuff. And there's also like a producer in your ear, like giving you information as well. Which at first, dude, the first show I did, I think the Stanley Cup or the third period live last year, the producer said something to me and I was like, what? Like as we're on the air, like I didn't, it was my first time like having someone in my ear and I like responded to him and I, like it's something you gotta get used to. Like we're
and what did he say? He said, don't answer me.
Yeah. He's like, don't answer. It was so funny. But, yeah, this one was tougher because, like honestly, so we were supposed to have Sean Avery and Kevin Conley on our last show before Game 5, but they got stuck in traffic. So like, that thing happens on the fly too. So it's like, just wrap it up, give your thought on the game, wrap it up. So like things kind of happen on the fly as well.
So who's been your favorite guest that you've had on? Like you've had a ton of guests on when you're doing those live shows. I saw you had like Pierre Maguire. I mean, I watched them all, but I'm paying attention to the game, but you had a couple NHL players too, like the Ottawa Senators guy, Shane.
Yeah, Shane Pinto, beauty.
Yeah, Shane Pinto, and like you get to talk to these guys while you're watching the game live. Who was maybe like your favorite one, if you can say that you have one, or what was one that like you had on and the conversation was flowing like bang,
Well, I will go to media day and biggest beauty ever, Nick Cousins. That guy is awesome.
Yeah,
that guy
I saw that
awesome.
the shoe thing.
Yeah.
Really
that was like people were like, dude, did you know him before? I was like, nah, I'd never met him in my life. Like, I don't even think he knows who I am. And you know, he walked right up. We kind of just like shot the shit right away. And that was my favorite like interaction that I've had, I think, like ever. Like it was just so like guys being guys, like, you know, and that was super cool. I'm like, kudos to the Panthers, you know, like still pulling the pranks off, like Stanley Cup Final, all the pressure in the world, and like you're just having fun with it, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like you saw all those injuries that came out after, like crazy that Kachuk played with a broken sternum. Like that's bananas, no?
Yeah, that was. I can't imagine, dude. That's nuts.
Who do you think had the best playoff performance in your opinion? I remember you were saying, who were you saying on the Panthers? You were saying Kachuk over Bobrovsky, but
Yeah.
who do you think on the Knights? Like, do you think Marchessault or some people were saying they thought Eichel would get it,
or Aiden Hill,
obviously.
It's tough to say. I like.
You just had a great night with Eichel, so you're gonna be like,
no. Well, I definitely think Eichel is way more noticeable, right? Like just in everything, like the way he skates is like there's no one else that moves like Jack Eichel. Like he looks like he's not even trying, and within 3 strides, he's blue line to blue line. You know, like the guy is so fun to watch in person. Like it is. I've never seen anyone skate like him. But I think like the little things he did, you know, like he wins that battle against Dallas in game 5, I think, for Barbashev to come in and score the first goal. You know, he comes back from that huge hit from Kachuk and has an assist. Like, you know, doing a little bit of everything, right? And he was not known to do that before. He's never been in the playoffs. He comes in, performs, wins a cup in his first trip. You know, like, sure, Marchessault was awesome and scored a lot of huge goals, but Marchessault was not as good in the first round. Like Eichel was doing it the whole way. You know, like it's a playoff MVP. You know, if you want to talk conference final, Stanley Cup final MVP, sure, Marchessault is the clear winner. You know, but to do what Eichel did, I think throughout the entire postseason was super impressive.
Hey, can you quote a movie like George Mika and Jeff Solo or what? What's your favorite?
Dude,
what's your favorite movie quote?
My favorite movie quote. I don't know why, but the first one that came to mind was one of our guys forgot his socks, so we forfeit. I don't know why that's not my favorite movie quote, but that's the first one that popped in my head for whatever reason. I like this is also so random. These random ones are coming to my head right now, but I always say like from Holes, like the duck may swim on the lake, but my daddy owns the lake. Like yeah, like you know, I like mix the random shit into conversation, but like my favorite movie of all time is Superbad. Like that's my favorite movie.
Oh, that's a hilarious movie.
Yeah. Like I could watch that, you know, 100 times. But yeah, I'm a big movie quoter too, and I like to think George gets his movie quoting a little bit from me. When we're together, it's bad.
Oh,
but,
it's lethal. It's lethal.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure.
And Ben's just sitting there laughing.
Yeah, Benny's not a movie quoter at all.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure George is on the movie quote diet for his Instagram captions.
Yeah, he's a good dude. But yeah, like movie quotes are, you know, such
they're elite.
Yeah, such an easy language. If you can't quote a movie, I just don't like you.
Oh man, I hope you like me. I can't quote a movie. But anyway, man, that's all I got for you, man. I appreciate you coming on. I'm sorry for the technical difficulties earlier. This has been unbelievable.
Thanks, boys. Anytime. Seriously.
Yeah, man.